Welcome to Women at the Top, where we share professional journeys to inspire yours.
Hello, I'm your host, Max Zhang, founder for Human Prosperity. Today, I'm excited to have Laura on the show.
Hello, I'm Laura Moreano Pinzón, and I'm the Director of Global Partnerships at the International Luxury Hotel Association.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me, Max. To give a little bit of context, the ILHA is the world's largest global association for luxury hospitality leaders. It unites more than 300,000 professionals across 90 countries, and in my role, I lead strategic partnerships across the luxury hospitality ecosystem, connecting brands, owners, operators, investors, and solution providers to unlock opportunity, drive innovation, and advance excellence across the industry.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So now what does it take to build and develop a good strategic relationships and partnerships?
So if I can go a little bit before and early on in my career, for me, I wasn't always in partnerships. My academic background is in international and comparative politics with a strong emphasis in international law. And I did that while living in France, and I'm originally from Colombia. So from early on, I was trained to think in systems, so how institutions interact, how powers and interests play out, and how decisions are made across borders. And early on in my career, I worked in highly international environments, including global NGOs and marine conservation organizations. I've always been deeply fond about ocean sustainability. So during my time in nonprofit, I saw firsthand that success in sustainability, just like in business, depends on aligning diverse stakeholders around a collective long-term vision. And that experience naturally pulled me into events and partnerships, which is what I do today.
Can you tell us some of your accomplishments?
I'm genuinely proud of building a career that spans multiple languages and countries, from Colombia to France, and now working globally while maintaining the relationships that matter most to me. I think that mobility definitely comes with a cost, with no doubt, and you can chase opportunities everywhere and end up connected to nowhere. So I became very intentional about how I build and maintain work relationships. That means staying in real contact with people across time zones, showing up for colleagues and collaborators, even when there was no immediate project, and making space for people who shaped me along my career path. What I've learned is that your network isn't just who you know, it's who trusts you over time, across distance, and through change. And that foundation of trust, it's what makes everything else in my work possible.
Yeah, definitely. The relationship is all about trust. And and I'm sure throughout some of your accomplishments, you also have run through some challenges as well. So can you tell us some of the challenges you went through and how you overcame them?
Oh, absolutely, Max. A significant challenge for me in my younger years, especially during university, was feeling uncertain about where I was headed in the future. I had a strong academic training and international exposure, but I didn't have a clear picture of how that translated into a real evolving career. And that uncertainty really hit me when COVID happened. Suddenly, everything paused and disappeared. Well, you know how it was, and a lot of paths I thought I was working toward didn't feel as solid as anymore. And at the same time, everything moved online. Remote work and digital collaboration had existed before, but almost overnight, they became the norm. And it felt like the rules of work changed all at once, which was insane. And instead of trying to cling to a single path, I started paying attention to what consistently energized me, working across cultures, building connections, meaningful relationships, and created structure, even in uncertain environments. And that shift in focus helped me move with the changes rather than resist them. And looking back, that period of feeling lost and a little bit anxious about the future became a real turning point for me. And it's something I'm genuinely grateful for today. But it wasn't easy at all. I remember stepping into roles where everything felt overwhelming, new, and I was always afraid. But learning to operate in those kinds of settings early on taught me how to stay flexible, connect the dots quickly, and build value across different teams and industries. And that adaptability is something that I still rely on every day in my work now.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely, focusing on things that you really give you energy, and it's not being adaptable. That's the key to success. So
Exactly.
in order for you to achieve your high performance on a daily basis, what are some of your habits?
I love this question, Max, and I think I've built specific rituals that keep me grounded in a high pressure industry. I think it was since COVID that I've been working from home, and honestly has been a blessing, and it has allowed me to have some sort of flexibility. For example, midday walks for me are not negotiable. Stepping away from the desk, moving my body, getting some fresh air, it completely resets my thinking. And it's just not a break, it's how I breathe, literally and mentally, before stepping back into work. Exercise is also my release valve. Events and partnerships come with intense timelines and high stakes. So physical movement helps me process stress in a way that sitting at my desk will never do. Two more things that I can consider a habit for me is, first of all, the quality time with people who mattered for me is sacred. As you grow older, your friend group naturally becomes smaller. And honestly, that's a good thing. You become more intentional about who you invest in and who fills your cup. And that applies to my partner, my family, and the friendships I've maintained across borders and different time zones. And I guess lastly, I'm extremely organized, almost to a fault. In events and partnerships, again, you're juggling multiple timelines, stakeholders, and moving parts all at once. And if I don't really have a clear system for tracking everything everywhere, things could follow through the cracks. So I keep detailed lists, I plan well in advance, and I make sure nothing else gets lost in the chaos. And I know that sounds a little bit intense, but at that level of organization is what it's what allows me to stay calm when everything around me is moving extremely fast, especially in my industry.
Very nice. Yeah, definitely. I love taking a walk on a daily basis, and at the same time, when I during my breaks, that's really kind of helps you reset. So,
Oh, absolutely.
one last question for you. So, what's next for you? What's your dream?
Looking ahead, I dream of being more involved in intentional work that goes beyond my day-to-day role, work that creates pathways for others, especially younger women navigating tough corporate spaces. I want to continue excelling in hospitality, of course, an industry that I've been fond of, but I also want to use what I've learned to help others find their footing earlier than I did, whether that's through speaking, mentoring, or platforms just like this podcast. I want to be someone who says out loud the things that I wish someone had told me when I was starting out. That uncertainty is normal, and that your non-linear path is an asset, because for me, my path was definitely not linear. And I've had the privilege of working across different cultures, industries, and high pressure situations. And what I've learned is that I've learned what it takes to build credibility, earn trust, and create opportunity, especially as a woman in spaces that aren't always designed for us. And if I can help younger women see those pathways more clearly and navigate these challenges with more confidence and build careers that feel aligned with who they actually are, that would be incredibly meaningful for me. Something in my work that I've really internalized is that in chaos, clarity is more valuable than control. And I learned this the hard way in partnerships and events. When you're managing high-level clients, tight timelines, and moving parts across multiple teams, chaos is just inevitable. So early on, I thought my job was to prevent things from going wrong, or in the event world, to put out fires before they even started. But that's exhausting and almost impossible. So what I've realized is that clarity beats control, and things will change. Timelines shift, partners have last minute needs, unexpected issues surface. And instead of trying to manage everything, I focus on identifying the few decisions that actually matter in the moment. So what impacts the experience, the partner relationship, or the outcome that goes wrong? And everything else can wait. So For now, ultimately, I just want to keep growing in luxury hospitality, growing my partnerships, which is something I absolutely love doing, while also creating a space to give back in a way that feels intentional and lasting.
Yeah, those are definitely amazing dreams. Thank you for sharing your journey to inspire others.
Thank you so much, Max.
For listening and hope that inspired you to reach the top. To get some help, check out our free services at humanprosperity.io.